And suddenly my right foot came free and it catapulted me down and onto the hard pack gravel.
Okay, so we're going to show you where we went in this video, which isn't very far on the map.
It's not, is it? Right, we basically started at Dawson. We spent the day in Dawson looking around, doing things.
We didn't leave till early afternoon, did we?
No, we came all the way down here. Actually, I'm going to do a quick dovish. We did a quick, just outside Dawson.
Yeah.
We went down there to Dredge 4.
Which isn't on the map.
Isn't on the map. Came all the way around here. I fell off the bike round here somewhere. And we end up down there at Perry Crossing.
Pelly
Crossing. I always say Perry.
I know, it's Pelly Crossing because you can see there's the Pelly River. It doesn't say Pelly River, but it is, and it flows into the Yukon, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, we spent the night there. So here's the video. So we spent the night at the Yukon campsite, just the other side of the Yukon from Dawson City.
Yep, the other side of the river. We were trying to find a site on the river, but it was too busy.
Yeah, there were some nice pictures by the river, but yeah, we had a lovely site.
Yeah, it was a lovely site. Bare box
and all that, which you've seen in the last video. The bikes were incredibly dirty.
Well, yeah, the following morning I decided to clean them off. We couldn't even see out of the lights.
No.
So they needed a wipe off so that we could see the number plates. Because the number plates are the number one attraction, aren't they?
Seem to be, yeah. Seem to be. I knew they were quite twee, but I didn't realise quite how much attraction they would bring. Yeah. We had people shouting as we were riding down the road, "Oh, guy and girl!" Oh, yeah, okay. Anyway, so then we went and got the ferry.
In the morning, free ferry.
That
runs 24 hours, I believe.
No, it closes between, I think it's 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. for servicing.
Okay, so it's closed for 20. It's closed for 2 hours.
Yeah, so it's open for 22 hours a day.
22 hours, and it's free.
Good morning. Good morning.
And I have to say, the captain is so used to the river. When I first saw it going out at strange angles, I thought it was on the chain.
I thought it must be on a chain, yeah.
But no, it's not on a chain.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Okay.
Otherwise we would have heard it.
This is true. And then as we got to the other side, we were sort of going in really quite fast. I thought, and I knew we were right at the front. I thought, and I had the brake on. I mean, I was in gear, but I had the brake on, and I was ready for the bump, both feet down. It just didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Really good, really, really good. Oh, look at that. That's expertly done. That's very good. I was waiting for a bump. No bump.
So then it was into Dawson City, and rather pretty it was too. First objective was to find cash.
It was, because obviously we realised we're in Canada now and we have no money.
No, we actually paid for the campsite the night before in US dollars.
Yes, because we didn't have any.
Which was an option.
It was an option.
It was an option. You could either pay 10 US or 10 Canadian.
Which worked out more expensive for us.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a better exchange rate with Canadian.
Oh, yes, that's right, yeah.
So actually
Yes, we paid more.
Yeah, we paid more because of our not having any cash.
No, but there you go.
Yeah. And what did we find when we got the money?
Yeah, when we got the money out, it was a really nice surprise. The Queen was on the notes. She was on the notes.
Yes, that was quite nice.
Yay! Queenie on the banknotes.
Yay. So then we had a ride around Dawson City just to see what the city was like.
Yeah.
And you bumped into an interesting man, didn't you? I went to do the shop. No, I went to take photos.
Yeah, that's
And you
right.
bumped into an interesting man that had gone for his holiday for 2 weeks.
Yeah, he'd gone up there for 2 weeks. 2 months later, he was still there, living out of his trailer on the front, and he was learning to be a DJ in the local radio.
Local DJ.
So, who knows?
I don't know how
We
that
did
happened.
obviously say to him, well, give Live 2 on tour a plug, won't you?
He might have done,
So,
who knows?
Whether he did or not, who knows?
So if anybody's listening from Dawson City,
Yeah,
were we
but
mentioned?
he was nice talking to, but he did say to us, on your way out, you must go down, take the right turn and go down to Dredge 4.
Yes. So we had a wander around town and found the hotel.
Yes, that has the sour toe. And the sour toe is a frostbitten toe, isn't it? Cut off someone's frostbitten toe.
Well, there's several
Had to be
though.
cut off.
I've lost some.
Well, yeah.
Some have been stolen.
Exactly. The picture that will show some have been swallowed.
Isn't that bit?
Oh no, it's hideous. Anyway, luckily for us, the place was closed, so we couldn't go in and sample the
I
sour
wouldn't
toe.
have partaked anyway because it was the morning, it was lunchtime, and I'm not drinking. You have to drink a short,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't be drinking that and then riding off on the bike. So yeah,
So anyway, we had lunch in Dawson City, and then on the way out, we took the right turn
we
and
did.
went going down to Dredge 4. And I have to say, for me, I've been following gold prospecting and gold digging and everything else on YouTube for
We need to find you a
a
little
number
place
of
to do your own
years.
little
I do.
prospecting.
I really
don't
want
we?
to do my own
Gold panning.
gold panning. And it was great going down there. You could see the remnants of old tailings, which are the waste rock that comes out the back of dredges and trommels and things. They were excavating new gold sites, and they were using trommels. Some were dry, some were wet. It was fascinating, absolutely fascinating. But then we got to the end of the road.
Most fascinating bit.
Most fascinating was the Dredge 4. And this is a dredge that they had spent millions on restoring it, raising it from the bottom of the lake that it had disappeared into and restoring it. But the best bit
Even
about
more
it was,
interesting.
even more interesting
This
was
is
that
amazing.
as we pulled up, a car pulled up beside us. This couple got out of this car. Obviously, they noticed the number plates. He came over, started talking.
Where are you from? Blah blah.
Turns out he actually worked on that very same dredge when he was 17 years old, back in the 1950s. And he remembers being paid $1.25
Oh,
for the day.
Something like that for the day, I think.
Yeah, and still going into Dawson City and drinking beer at 50 cents a pint.
Yeah, I don't know how he managed that when he could only get 2.5 pints for his day's pay. But anyway.
I don't know. But he said that the conditions were really cold, really wet, really noisy, as I can imagine. Yeah. And the reason why he was in Dawson City was because on that actual day that we were there,
it was the Thursday, wasn't it?
It was the Thursday, yeah. On that day, it was 125 years since Dawson City had been founded, since the gold rush had started in the Klondike in that area. Yeah, fascinating, absolutely fascinating. I could speak for hours about all the gold and stuff.
Then we kind of set off our target, was to try and get to Pelly Crossing campsite. Obviously, it crosses the Pelly River.
Yeah, we left a little bit late, didn't we?
Well, it was early afternoon because we'd spent the morning wandering around Dawson, which is what we wanted to do. So we didn't get that far that day. Loads of roadworks.
Loads of roadworks
Loads
and
of
construction.
potholes.
Potholes and things. But funnily enough, we came across these 3 trucks that were
We'd overtaken them.
Each of them were towing. We came up behind them, and they actually pulled over to let us go past.
An RV, 2 RVs and a caravan.
We weren't actually sure where they were pulling over because they'd seen something, so we were a bit.
We wondered if they were looking at something. Was there a bear? But we didn't see anything.
But it wasn't. They'd actually pulled over to let us pass, and then literally only a couple of miles further on, we came to a stop sign at the start of the construction. So they pulled up behind us, and we knew we had a little while to wait. So I decided to get off the bike. Which is
quite a palaver.
Quite a palaver when you've got so much gear on. And they were really funny. They were giving me a round of applause for getting off the bike.
It was funny.
Little did they know what was going to happen a little later.
Yeah, it was
anyway.
funny. But
so they followed us through the construction.
Oh, it looks all muddy up there as well. I don't like roadworks.
And I have to say, the construction actually felt worse than the Dalton Highway.
Oh, it was wet.
Because it was wet and really slippery.
I was slipping about all over the place, and I looked in my mirror, and I thought, oh, I hope they drop back, and they did drop back. To be fair, so if I fall off, they need to be able to stop so they don't run me over. Yeah. I didn't fall off, luckily. But
turns out they were bikers themselves.
Yeah.
So they knew that they had to drop back and give us space.
But there are lots of roadworks up there. And actually, speaking to locals, they say there's only 2 seasons in the Yukon, and it's winter and construction.
Correct.
Yeah, winter and construction.
Yes.
Because they've only got a few months to get all the roadworks done.
Yeah. Then it started raining, didn't it? It got a little bit miserable.
Drizzly, a little bit
drizzly.
cold.
And we got cold.
Your heated jacket wasn't working, mine was. Snooze, you lose.
Yeah.
Nice and warm.
So... So
we pulled over for a stretch, didn't we?
We pulled over for a stretch, and also just to check how far Pelly Crossing was.
Yeah, we weren't sure because we stopped by a campsite.
And as we stopped, I went to get off the bike. I pulled over in this labour, and I went to get off, and I got my right foot snagged on one of the panniers. But by which time I'd already got myself overweighted over my left leg to pull my right leg over. And suddenly my right foot came free, and it catapulted me down and onto the hard pack gravel, didn't it?
Stony gravel laid but pulling as
usual. And I tell you what, it hurt. It hurt. So I went right down on my left buttock.
I heard you shout. We didn't have the cameras running, obviously.
No. And you didn't have the camera running when you came to pick me up off the floor either.
Well, we're not good at this because we have a bit of a catastrophe and we just try and deal with it because that's what we do.
Yeah, what we should do is film it.
Think, oh, he's fallen over, he could be dying, let me get my camera out.
Yeah,
we're still not in that mindset. No. Maybe you get some drama on the film later, but at the moment, we're too busy. I wanted to make sure you're okay, and you decided nothing was broken, so up you got. Hurt a bit. You thought, oh, I'm probably going to get a huge bruise later, but you're okay, weren't you?
Mm-hmm. Got back on the bike and carried on.
We decided we could get to Pelly Crossing, so we did. Pulled in there, picked our pitch, just picked a car to it.
Yep.
Nice pitch, opposite two Austrian guys,
father and son.
Really nice guys.
They'd been canoeing the Yukon River for the last 10 or 11 days.
Good couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah, good couple of weeks. And they'd actually come down a little bit fast, so they were camping in Pelly Crossing for a couple of nights because they weren't due in Whitehorse. They'd been picked up in Whitehorse a little bit later.
Yeah.
But anyway, they'd canoed all the way down, and they'd seen lots of bears and mooses. Mooses?
Yeah, mooses.
Is it mooses?
Moosei.
Moosei.
It's just moose and moose, I think it is.
More than one moose.
1 moose, 1,000 moose.
Okay.
I think it's just the same word.
Well, they saw more than one moose.
Lots of moose.
Yes, and lots of other bits and pieces. So we got chatting to them. They were really nice people.
They'd praised our very healthy meal the night before when they watched us cook that.
Yeah.
What have we got for supper tonight? Ooh, that looks nice.
Pork and veg.
Pork apple, pepper, onion, courgette.
Bit of chilli.
Lovely. Super, can't wait.
And the following morning, we suddenly, the following morning they told us that they'd been living off lentils, dried food,
For the
for
last,
the last 2 weeks.
And they hadn't had any fresh fruit or vegetables.
No, and it was just in passing conversation.
Yeah.
So I said to Izzy, well, actually, all we've got left was 2 apples, which was going to be our lunch.
Big apples, because they're obviously North American apples, which are the size of melons.
Big. Yes. So we gave them the apples. And I think they were very grateful.
They devoured them before we even walked back to our pitch.
Yeah, they didn't last long at all.
No, they really like those. Yeah, tried to get a tried to get a selfie by the bridge that crosses over the...
Well, we did get a selfie.
We did, yes, but yeah. It's always a struggle with you.
I did a normal selfie.
Yeah, it took about 3 or 4 shots.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
But still normal.
So that was us at Pelly Crossing.
Yes, and actually we should say that the night before we did join.
Oh yes.
Did join our the convoy
yep.
Round a campfire before it rained, because it absolutely chucked.
They invited
down.
us to join them at the campfire, so we had our meal.
Yeah, and the one thing they said to us was you really must go to Skagway, because that's where they were heading. Now we had to come into Whitehorse for a couple of days just to get some new rear tyres, but we thought, well, we'll do that afterwards.
And that's exactly why we don't have an itinerary.
Yep. So we thought,
the whole reason, because when somebody says something like that, you think, okay, I'm going there now.
We can go down there.
And it doesn't matter. We haven't got anything booked. So, yes, we shall be off to Skagway once we've done Whitehorse. Whitehorse next, change the tyres.
Yes. So, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe, click the bell. Well, I still
Something
don't know what it is. Too old.
Just like it.
See you in the next one.
Yes. Bye.